Welcome to the Quint, firstly, Emraan, Shreya. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Imran, I want to start by asking you that you've said in interviews recently that this is a sort of 2.0, a sort of a revamp for you. But isn't it, I mean, haven't you been trying to do this before as well? I mean, with Shanghai and Gunchakkar.
Yeah, there's been a gradual departure from stuff that I was doing very initially in my career. The first 10, 12 years were playing a certain star image for the audience. But then I realized that I need to play different characters for a new experience for me as an actor, a new experience for the audience. And, things don't change overnight. There is a gradual fade out to things, fade in of things. And it's all in that process. When at that time, films like Shanghai, that would come probably once in 3 years. Right now, there'll be a lot more of those because the audience has woken up to that. They've evolved thanks to social media, just OTT platforms. Now they've tasted a lot of things, so they know what they've been missing out on.
Shreya, you've worked in the South, and you recently said that you're very happy that you're finally making your Hindi debut because you said it was really hard, and I mean, it took you a lot to actually get here.
It was a bit of a journey because I've done the Telugu film like a long while ago. I was practically a kid. And if you really want to do like Hindi films, you have to be in Bombay because I was in Delhi modeling. Then I'd come here, done I've done a decent number of ads. Then I've done short films and I've done web series. And then finally, this is my first film. So it took a lot of other projects to get here, but it was a fun ride.
Right. But you always wanted to be an actor?
No, not really. I didn't. I really didn't because I didn't think that was an option available to people with normal families who are not related to the business. I thought it was a family business. And it mostly is because it's really hard to get into this.
Everyone has privileges. You have the privilege of education.
I have the privilege of education. After he trashed education, I have the privilege of education.
We got the privilege of nepotism, but then the poor people who are saying, hey, she got the education, mom and dad pay for it.
Okay, so what he said actually, he's proving my point. Thank you very much.
No, not proving my point.
Yes,
I'm just saying there's a privilege in everything. There's a privilege in nepotism, there's a privilege in having that education.
But I mean, I have to say that the privilege with nepotism is access, which I think is a huge privilege.
It is a huge
So-
privilege. But it also comes with the pressure. If you have an inlet, kind of inroads into the film industry, the expectations are a lot more. Eventually, the acceptance is only by the audience. That first day, first show decides your future. Tell me one actor who's got these inroads with the family and then has lasted for a long time. If there's no merit, no. If there's no merit, there has to be some merit to it. There has to be some merit to it.
No, what Nandakumar is trying to say is that there are still opportunities that like you get.
Sure, there are opportunities.
Like you get 5 films before people
but
really
sure,
trash
but there's
you.
a privilege of everything. That's what I'm saying. There's a privilege of you also getting your education and that access to money and that education that other people don't get. So everyone's pointing a finger at someone else. Tough luck.
The point is that it is harder for people from the outside, so
It's not impossible.
it's not
Some of
impossible.
the most successful people in our industry have not come through nepotism. Shah Rukh Khan, Mr. Bachchan. So there's no rule. The rules to exception, yeah. But no, there are a lot more people. Priyanka Chopra. I can go on endlessly
No,
on
actually,
this topic.
you
Yeah,
have to
I
stop
can.
when
No,
you
I
stop
can go
after 10.
endlessly. No, why?
Deepika.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. So
Film is about the fraudulent nature of the education system, and I want to know from both of you that most of us come out of the education system pretty scarred. I mean, is it because of our teachers or just the way it is? There's no emphasis on learning. It's all about rote learning. What angers you about the system?
where do I start? It's just the fact that when you're a student, you don't know how little you're learning. It's only when you go out there in the world and you look for that job, and then you realize that fundamental things like making mistakes are never pushed by a school system as, this could fetch you a reward by learning from that mistake. But then there's no place for mistakes in the school system. You get those grades or you're a failure. That 1 hour decides who you are, if you're smart or if you're not. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I wasted 5 years in commerce. I eventually came into the arts. It was a waste of time. So at least if they had kind of nurtured and kind of got me into that direction very early on and seen my pluses, then it wouldn't have wasted so much of my time.
For you, Shreya, I mean, you're an engineer as well. You've been through that grind, and I know engineering students complain a lot about what they have to do. What is your takeaway been like?
So everything of what he said, plus the fact that none of our syllabi is not updated. it's not ready for tomorrow. What we're studying in colleges and schools is not on par with what is happening right now. There's innovation. I mean, they're talking about sending people to the Mars. People to Mars. They're talking about flying taxis. There's some killer technology. I'm a big tech person, but yeah, there's a killer technology out there, and we are not learning anything remotely matching or any. There is no R&D. There is no innovation. So there's a lot of things additionally that is wrong with the system.
Just final question that the year has sort of, the Me Too movement of 2019 has sort of begun with the allegations of Mr. Hirani. I just want to know that the allegations on Soumik, I mean, they were there last year. What did you feel you were responsible towards the audience? Because his name has also been part of the promotional campaign. So I just wanted to know.
No, I mean, first of all, I applaud the movement. It's very good that it started, and it's still making waves. There were a couple of allegations against the director on social media, and our director himself has excused himself from the promotions of the film. He put up a tweet saying that if I have unintentionally hurt anyone, I'm taking onus for it and I'm backing out from the promotions. It's a bit of a grey zone right now because you have a trial by social media, right? There's no due process. There's no one going to the judicial system, and that again is the unfortunate part. When women come forth, everyone doesn't have proof, right? But at the same time, you have to understand that like there are malicious, like there are men, there are women who would want to settle scores with this movement. They want to jump onto the movement to settle scores. The authenticity might be there. There might not be that kind of. As a producer, what we could do is we could investigate on our film set and see if the director has done this with anyone on our film set, and we didn't get any such case. So that's where it's at, and I think this movement will. I hope it goes on. It really forewarns the men who indulge in these kind of activities. Women can be not really completely protected, but at least right now men know that they can put it out on social media and the media picks it up. So a lot of men won't do that. They will think twice.
Do you sense this, and is there a sense of fear? Have you been on set post the movement? Do you see something, a change on the ground?
I've actually seen, I've heard of a backlash that a lot of women have stopped being, they've not been employed by some companies, which is very unfortunate. That's the kind of backlash that this has led to. So again, we don't know which direction this is going in. What I can do as a producer is set aside a set of rules which are put down by the government, which amount to sexual harassment. That also, there's a gradation to that. You don't know what amounts to sexual harassment. Culturally, for someone, a lewd comment or a joke would amount to a sexual harassment. So I've set across those guidelines in the contract. That warns the men on the set, safeguards the women. At the same time, you also have a case where a woman in power could harass a male colleague. I mean, it's a power dynamic that goes both ways. So that has to be taken into consideration. Power corrupts most of us, and then we take it in our hands and then we start doing these things. So I think it'll get clear in the next couple of years, probably not right now, but it's a good start.
Shreya, how do you look this as someone who's just joining industry, as a young female who's working? How do you view this?
The movement.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like it was a long time coming and it was necessary. Then it's nice that there's an avenue, thanks to, I think, social media and the fact that the movement has seen success and sort of unity on such a large scale in the West, that it's come here after that. I don't think the repercussions have been like concrete and swift or severe, yes, or widespread. But it's really nice that at least there is an avenue and there are people who will support you, who will listen to you without doubting the authenticity, and it's very necessary, and I'm kind of proud of all of these women who are so courageous to speak something that is so traumatic. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and all the very best for the film. I hope it does very well. Looking forward to watching it, and looking forward to your new innings as well.